satisfied because she's just like, oh, yeah, life fibers are going to return anyway, and she just kind of disappears the same frustrating way she is.
LOL, bye.
Well,
I think they might have left that open because Kill la Kill is getting successful. If it's on Adult Swim, it's going to get bigger as it keeps going. I think they might have left that open to go, oh, we can now have them come back in another OVA. And if they can release OVA for the rest of my life, and I will be satisfied. So, like, I feel like they left that open for the reason of cash money.
Miniseries, anybody?
Please. I saw a hand over there. Do you still want to go?
Yeah, the scene that made me feel like the most awkward was when Ragyo, Ryoko, and Yuri are all like naked together.
The hot lesbians.
And I was like, why? I do think that scene where they forced Juketsu on Ryuko is worse than this thing because it's not just physically abusive, but it's also kind of emotionally abusive because they're just kind of preying on all of Ryuko's emotional weaknesses. Didn't have a great family life, all that, and she just kind of preyed on all that just to take advantage of her own daughter.
Right. I feel like that's a disturbing scene. Like, I see those in two different lights. I see that scene as, this is another reason to hate Ragyo. This is, like, a big character development moment. I saw the spanking as absolutely unnecessary and disgusting. There's a difference between disgusting and disturbing. And I felt that your scene was disturbing and very much, like, needed for it because it gave it another level of, I want this woman dead, stop touching my beautiful girlfriend type of a deal. But I totally see where you're coming from. Anybody have anything else? Good.
I also think that I don't think we're bringing up I know that the spanking scene was very, like, disturbing and disgusting, but are we forgetting the bath scene where Satsuki is in the bath and Ragyo comes in and things happen and then...
That's also a super gross scene. But at least there was background music to that scene. The spanking scene didn't have any background music. It was just the fine-ass slaps of Satsuki's beautiful ass. I can only see that abused for so long, and by her own mother. And I felt like I'm not saying that scene's not bad. Anything with Ragyo is just bad. And that's what makes her such a great villain. So, like, but I totally see where you're coming from there.
The only one that felt like Ragyo was cosplaying a Pokemon.
No, thank you. Thank you, friend.
I'm cosplaying Arceus. That's where my hair changes color. Oh, God.
I'm just curious, though. Where does she put all that boob? Where does it go?
Where's the titty? Free the titty!
God.
Free the Ragyo
Hashtag
titty,
free the
2K15.
titty 2015. Your hand shot up and then went down.
No, I just said the alternate dimension or something.
Alternate dimension where the titties were the evil ones all along. I am the reason for this terrible plot.
So much plot.
So much titty.
There's so
Yeah.
much plot, none of it is shown.
There you go. Okay, important question. What type of shampoo do you think Ragyo uses to get her hair to shine like that?
I mean, unicorn tears.
L'Oreal.
Yeah, tears of unicorns, the blood of small children, just general stuff like that. Shaven tails of puppies.
Oh.
Satsuki's tears.
Whatever clowns are made of.
All the way to the back. It's funny because it's a wig. Yeah, that's cute. I guess then we can open up discussion. Ragyo and Nui, how did you guys, especially Nui, how did you guys feel for them as antagonists? Like with Nui being so damn cute and like, I am wearing pink and stuff and I'm gonna murder you. Like all that kind of stuff. How did you guys feel that they were like, because I personally feel that they were one of the best antagonists I've ever seen. You first, then you, and then you.
I loved Nui so much. Every time she came on screen, I was like happy that she came on screen because I thought that her character was like just really, I love those kind of characters that they're just like, so psychotic and evil that they're just pretty much.
Whoever I said was next over there, that's the one.
The
first time she was introduced, I was just waiting for Ryoko to kill her, like, she's like the worst, most evil person until Ragyo gets introduced. And then, I think it was both a frustrating piece of writing and really good writing, where Yui sacrifices herself at the end for Ragyo, and we don't really get that satisfying moment where Ryoko defeats her.
You never get that satisfying feeling of her like life leaving from her eyes. She's just like, nah, man. It's the same with Ragyo too. She just rips out her own beating heart and is like, you guys can't like destroy me. You guys are dead to me. And I think that like really added to it too is that like takeaway of that satisfaction. Okay, go ahead.
I'm only kind of like on episode 16 right now, so I think I've gotten a little bit of her. But so far, she strikes me as some kind of hybrid between like Professor Umbridge and a Sylveon.
Amazing. Blue jacket and then the person next to blue jacket.
Alright, so I remember when I started watching it, that first scene when we first see Nui, I was like, this is a Joe, who's this character? And as soon as she comes down with that other half of the scissor blade, I was like, she was the one who,
Oh,
Oh,
girl! Shit's about to go down. I need my popcorn.
and then I got even more serious when it showed that one scene of when she actually killed Ryuko's dad. And then she's like gets stabbed in the eye and she like freaks out and becomes like super like angry. She's like, God damn it, you stabbed my eye. And I'm like, that's not the cute Nui that I thought was there.
That's not my waifu. Spoiler alert, Nui kills Ryoko's dad.
What you say?
Alright, person next to blue jacket.
Yeah, I thought Nui was a better antagonist than Ragyo.
Oh, really?
Just because, like, she shows up more often, and then Ryuko, like kills her, right? And then it's like, oh no, I'm not dead, I'm still here. My arms fell off, I'll just put them back on. He keeps showing up, and you like fake that almost. She never goes away, and I love her theme a lot.
As somebody who is a cosplayer who makes their own costumes, sewing with your mouth might be the most meta thing next to the lemon thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, and I could totally see myself doing that for a project as well, just like my arms are off. My convention's in 2 days! Like, type of a deal. And I think that's what, like, where I really fell in love with Nui was her dedication. Like, as bad as she is, her dedication, it's like, yes. Okay, people are holding their hands up everywhere. We'll go hat, you. Go ahead, hat.
I felt like Nui is kind of like similar with the Elite Four. They're kind of parallel. She's like the evil side of the Elite Four, where the Elite Four are super dedicated. They're like, we're gonna follow you to the end of everything. And Nui was the same thing as Ragyo, but since she was an evil character, she kind of did it in her own way, but she was still doing it for Ragyo. But I felt like her kind of weird wafiness and her super cheerful murdery rampage fit in perfectly with the show, and that if any other character was the person that killed the father, they would have just like held on to it until like a crazy dramatic scene, and she was just like, oh yeah, I killed your dad.
By the way.
I was just gonna say that.
Oh no, hold on. Go behind you, then you. Sorry.
Two things. One, I'm really glad that you know how they were talking about like. I remember who was trying to convince Nui that she had reservations because she like kept the scissor.
I think that was Satsuki.
That was Satsuki.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm kind of glad that they didn't like turn her into the good character because I feel like that would have been like completely predictable. If they were like, oh, you have reservations about this, and it kind of showed that she was weaker than the Elite Four, and like, because she didn't completely, essentially blindly follow whoever she was serving. Two, I want to know how she was conceived. I know she was born from the life fibers, but how was she actually conceived? Did they just like squirt some semen?
Didn't they just like... Did they just like weave her out of life fibers?
Yeah, that'd be an interesting idea where they like literally. Yeah.
Like I remember they explained it, I just can't remember exactly how.
Yeah, I thought she came like just directly from the life fiber.
Yeah, she was born from the life fiber.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I just want
right.
to know how she was conceived.
Like you know how like a spider like has a web and like the Nate makes the web? It did that but with Nui.
Oh, I think
I can imagine it
remember
just growing legs. Go.
how Satsuki was exposed to life fibers when she was like a little kid. Ryuko was exposed to life fibers when she was a little baby, and then Nui was exposed to life fibers when she was still in the womb.
I thought Nui just kind of showed up. One
No,
day.
Nui was born from
Was
the
she?
life fiber.
Okay.
Yeah,
It wasn't like she was a human baby. I
you
don't
know,
think.
like the womb of the life fibers.
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
yeah, no, I get that. What I'm talking about is like, you need two parts. You need the male part and
Well, I
the
mean, if it's
female
an
part.
asexual life fiber, like it
Well,
could
yeah.
just be sweet
I just think
asexual.
Like bacteria.
So basically, she's a germ.
Yeah. I mean, yes,
Makes
that's
sense.
not a question.
She's like a common cold.
Go ahead.
I was just, you kind of talked about it, but I was talking, I liked when she lost her arms and then was sewing with her mouth. Like, I thought that was, like, so cool. I don't know. That
Because I imagine like
was one
you
of my
drop,
favorite scenes that she had.
you swallow a sewing needle on accident.
I would recommend not sewing with your teeth ever. I did it one time and it's a really bad idea.
I'd also recommend not getting your arms cut off.
A girl lost her arms. That's
Do
what
it
you're
once.
doing.
You were supposed to be watching the door.
Go ahead.
So for the opposite opinion, I didn't like either of the villains because it felt like they were just villainous to be villainous. Like there wasn't a motive. Yeah, she was super motivated to destroy the world, but why?
She was feeding the life fibers. They had to eat, and she served them. I don't know why she served them.
That's
so that's where I see where
why
you're
I
going, bro.
don't like Nui or Ragyo that much.
Right. Well, Nui, she would have the motivation, and her motivation would be the simple thing of I need to feed my own parents.
Yeah, I mean,
Because so Nui like would have that thing. It's more that where Ragyo comes in. I can see where you're talking about, where she doesn't really have much motivation besides beauty, fashion, type of a deal. I saw a hand back there. Do you still want to talk?
Well, it's about the Nui thing. Like, I don't think Ragyo's above just stealing someone's baby and throwing it into the life fiber. I'm like, yes, give me money and beauty.
Another trash baby.
Ragyo is such a good mother.
Yeah.
I hate Nui, like, with a burning passion that I despise her. And, like, I didn't even want her dead, I just wanted her to suffer, and when she got her arms cut off, I was, like, happy for a month. It was the best day of my life.
Do you have a reasoning for hating Nui so much?
Just her, just like, oh, I'm just going to mess all your shit up and be super perky and happy about it, and I'm just like, you are too happy and sadistic, I want you to die.
Alright, we'll take two
You're
more
having
and
too
we'll
much fun
swap.
with this.
Yeah, we'll take the two more and then we'll swap, and then actually we'll probably switch over to. How many of you guys have seen the OVA? How many of you who haven't seen it care about being spoiled?
No, I don't
Two
care.
people.
Wait,
Okay. What we'll do then is we'll discuss OVA and then do trivia, and so we'll since the OVA shouldn't take that long to discuss, but we'll do the two that I saw first about Nui and Ragyo.
Basically at this point, you can definitely tell that the cutesy psychotic is definitely an anime trip at this point, and I love it.
Because, like, if you see it with Nui, and if you have seen Danganronpa, I'll spoil Danganronpa for you guys while I'm here, too. Junko's the mastermind. Okay. Like, the main mastermind, I won't say the name if that makes you feel any better.
Okay.
The main mastermind is this super cute girl. Sorry. The super cute person. And, like, so, like, I could definitely see where it's starting to be a trope.
Especially like one of the Undertaker. Like that one little
Oh,
girl.
the little girl?
Yeah.
With the huge sword that was like 5 times her size?
Yeah. Especially that one where she like slices skin.
Yeah, I don't understand how that sword worked.
Something I do want to discuss just real fast. I'm really sorry, I completely forgot I wanted to talk about it before the OVA. The animation style itself. I don't know if any of you guys are like art students or anything, or like artists in general. But if you look at the animation, everyone has a different animation style. Nui has that really shitty, like 2D style. Like she literally just will do flips, and her character will just turn in and out of existence. Mako has this super fluid, like, I'm happy all the time, let's do this, like, type of a deal. Nanan is, that kind of serious-y animation. Ryoko is just badass. Sonic Am is a fucking wimp.
Thank you.
But, if you guys noticed the animation thing, did you guys feel like that was a really awesome part? Because as an art student, I went, that's character in movements! I just thought that was the coolest thing. I saw you, and then we'll go for the rest. Go ahead.
It's always great how Gamagori is always the tallest. No matter what, he's just always the biggest character on the screen. Just because that's what his personality demands of himself.
I like how he gets bigger throughout the series.
Did anybody notice that Gamagori did equal the size of the Colossal Titan at one point?
Oh yeah. Gamagori is the real threat against humanity. No, Gamagori is as big as he needs to be, and I appreciate that. But at the end of the series especially, Nanan standing on his shoulder, just chilling, like, hey. And she's still not as tall as his head, I'm pretty sure. And it's amazing to me.
So the question is, did Nanan get shorter while Gamagori got taller?
Who was next? You.
Regarding the animation style, and I really like the characters in that, because I'm the kind of I like animation, and I can't draw or anything, but I like seeing really good animation, and I thought Studio Trigger, which is the studio that produced Kill la Kill, is such a good studio, even though they're pretty new. I've seen one of their other works, Little Witch Academia. Has anybody seen that?
Dude, they did Little Witch? That's such a great show.
I love Little Witch Academia. And because I just feel like that Trigger uses its movement and its characters really, really well, and they look cartoonish but realistic at the same time.
Right.
Let's see. I don't know how the studio inner workings work, what would influence decisions so much for animation, but the thing is, when people kept telling me to watch Kill la Kill, they're like, oh, it's animated so good, you should check it out. You should check it out. And I was like, alright. And the thing is it sometimes is. But other times, it's characters being dragged and clicked and things like that. But I feel like the show, by doing that, it picks and chooses well. Because it seems like it saves its budget for when it counts or when it's doing a thing, or sometimes they'll save their budget for a really silly, unimportant thing, but it's affecting, eating something super realistically. I don't know.
I have 2 examples for you to give, just because I know exactly what scenes you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Example 1, episode 4, when Maiko steals Senketsu, and it's just just detached, reattached.
Splits off her.
But then for the budgety, not serious, when Mako's dad tries to make sure Mako and Ryoko are okay, and it's will there be free food provided? When he gets that super serious, so I can see where, I thought that was a nice little, choices as well.
But it's so, sorry.
No, you're okay, go ahead, finish.
Okay, no, but the thing is, I'm not, downing it or anything, because I think, by doing that, it's a little meta, because in a way, it's we're not dumb, we know the animation's being dumb here, but it works, because, I don't know, it's just picking and choosing for a movie. So I don't think having crappy animation here and there dams it or anything. It's just interesting how they made that decision.
Right. What?
I think this shows it's really stylized in a way that a lot of anime wouldn't. They wouldn't take those risks. There was a part where she was in the flying form of the suit, and just her facial angles were so not typically pretty. They weren't because most anime, if it's something cool, they'll make the girls look really pretty while they do it. But they made her look so angular and so awesome looking that I think that was a really cool way to stylize it. And I think they did a couple things with that with Satsuki too, where she was just so angular and threatening, and where other anime wouldn't do that.
We'll take these last, I see 4 hands. Am I missing 1, 2, 3, 4? Am I missing any? We'll take the last 4 and then we'll switch to OVA. Because we're we have 30 minutes exactly. Keyblade.
No, it's recently all these new animes the New Face Day Night, they have to make it look as beautiful as they can. Kill la Kill is this anime that is a new like Breath of the Wild, just like something different. It was just like, gotta make this look shiny or gotta make this look like a real person. So that's why I love watching.